What's up, Agency Go fam? In this video, I'm gonna be breaking down for you something that took me over 24 hours to put together, and that is my Dream 100 list. You might have heard of the Dream 100 from a little guy called Russell Brunson, and essentially this tool allows you to look at who the top influencers are in your niche and analyze them and reverse engineer the strategies that they're doing that have allowed them to be successful. It also gives you an opportunity to try to get in to those people's communities and groups and get exposure from what they're doing, so you can kind of ride the wave of their success and also collaborate with them. And so in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down for you what it is and how you can use it for your agency. And as always, if you would like to join our Agency Go community, go to agencygo.io. And if I can't add $10,000 in monthly recurring revenue to your business in the first 30 days, I'll give you your money back, no questions asked. Let's jump into it. So let's jump right into what the Dream 100 is. So I got this method from Russell Brunson in his book, Traffic Secrets. So if you want to read that, I definitely recommend going to Traffic Secrets, just searching that in Google and finding that book. It's an extremely helpful book. And it talks about why most people fail at social media. And the reason is because they're not starting with where the best sources of traffic are. So what I did is as somebody who focuses on digital marketing and the digital marketing niche, I found 100 people who are the top influencers in this space. And I have links to all of them here. And so when I click on different places, like with Jason Wardrop, I find his main channel. Think of this as if there was a Tonight Show host like Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel. And when you go to their channel is their broadcast television spot. So for instance, that's their late night spot, right? And so that is their main channel. So for this guy, he gets most of his traffic through his YouTube, Jason Wardrop, and most of the people that are coming through his channel are people that are also digital marketers or they're looking to scale their business. So for someone like myself, this would be my Dream 100. So my goal is to find a way in to this individual so that way I can then get promoted on his channels. And so once you've identified a list of 100 people, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find ways that you can get yourself in. And so the way that Russell Brunson talks about it in his book is when you find your Dream 100, the way you get in is by actually being genuine and authentic to them and building rapport. So my strategy when reaching out to these people, let's say Savannah Sanchez, for instance, I found all of her links here, and she has her website, she has Twitter, she has YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. Let's just go to Twitter here for 1 second. Once we're inside Twitter, we can see if I search for Savannah Sanchez. So she has 7,200 subscribers, and her whole thing is about media buying and ad creative. Now, if I watch her videos, I'm going to learn some stuff about her. I'm probably going to learn about some of her case studies. I'm probably going to learn about her courses. I'm probably going to learn about her as an individual person and not just as a business entity. And so I can build rapport by engaging with her content, by commenting on her content, by then DMing her and saying, hey, I really like this. I also downloaded the course. I really enjoyed it. This is my favorite thing about it. And you're building rapport. And so the way to really think about this is the best parallel is to think of it as account-based sales. So account-based sales is not about high volume. It's not about hitting up hundreds of people at once. Instead, it's about strategically building different relationships with people that you know are the movers and shakers in your industry. So someone like Savannah, I wouldn't just directly reach out and just pitch her. What I would do is I would build rapport by engaging with content over a number of weeks. And then after about 30 to 60 days and actually having made a genuine connection with her and maybe gotten a response back, that's when I would actually start to ask, hey, could you share this? Or, hey, maybe I'd love to be on your show or something like that, right? So that is the moment when you make that play into getting into her channel. And it's important to get on her channel and not have her on yours. I mean, you can have her on yours too. That's not a problem. But it's important to get on her channel because she has way more views, right? That's the important part. She has way more views. She has a bigger audience. She has more raving fans. She's been in the game for longer. The number one way as well to get people like this to want to talk to you is to actually build an audience yourself, which might sound like a bit of a cop-out of an answer or a solution, but in reality, it's what you need to do. So in the book, traffic secrets. What Russell Brunson talks about is Arsenio Hall, and how Arsenio Hall had the Arsenio Hall show. And on that show, he was obviously one of the biggest entertainers of the day. Everybody came on the show. Bill Clinton came on the show. Tons and tons of people came on the show, and he was the spotlight. And so when he was able to raise the most money, to do the most work, to be the most influential person, is when he had that show, and all those people were coming on the show. But now the example he uses is he was on Celebrity Apprentice, and he wasn't even able to raise money on that show because he didn't have the same connections as he used to. Before, everybody used to come on a show, everybody used to help him out, etc. Now nobody did, and that was the example he used. And so you want to think of it like that, right? So until you have a substantial following, these people aren't going to really want to hit you up. But what's going to accelerate that following more than anything else is finding people who already have a channel and essentially hopscotching onto different people's channels and building that rapport and becoming someone trustworthy that people want to be like and be around. And so I will be doing this for this list, and I don't need a bigger list. This is a big enough list. Some of these people on this list have millions of followers, hundreds of millions of followers and subscribers across all of their channels. Some people are people I'm already connected to, and I know by being involved with them on their channel or collaborating with them, I'm going to get a lot of exposure to the right kind of people. So first, what you want to do is find this list. This is what is most important to start off with, the most influential movers and shakers in your industry. Then once you've identified this, you want to ask yourself, what are they doing better than me? And so what I did is I went to all of these people. I literally went to every single person. I spent about 24 hours going through every single person and identifying what they're doing better than me. And I looked at, okay, let's say Jason Wardrobe. Probably this video is going to start playing right now. All right. So with Jason Wardrobe, right, there were things that he was doing with, let's say, his videos. So if I go down here and I scroll, you can see he has step-by-step instructions. I don't have step-by-step instructions in my videos, and now I'm going to start having step-by-step instructions because the whole goal is to find what they're doing better than you and emulate it, right? You can see he has more emojis in his descriptions than I do. You can see that he always pins a comment at the top of his YouTube, and actually people comment there, and he's always responding to every single person that comments on his video. And so that is one area that he is beating me in this game. The other ways, like for instance, I find Iman Gadzhi. He's a very young dude who is able to grow his personal wealth and businesses very, very large in a very short period of time. And the way he does it, one of the ways is he has giveaways that he provides to his followers. So you can see he has giveaways he's doing. I think this one was today's giveaway winner, Sam Rose, to enter the next giveaway. And this is how he's accelerating the growth of his channel. And so doing giveaways is an easy way for me to get more exposure. And you can see this video has 72,000 views. So you want to find these things that might seem like little things, but might really be pushing the needle for these influencers. One other thing that I noticed a lot of people do better than me is, one, they're super active on Twitter. So this is one thing I noticed across the board. So many people who were in the digital marketing space were super active on Twitter. You can see Rand Fishkin, who helped create, well, he was the co-founder of Moz. Look at how often he's posting, right? 18 hours, right? 20 hours, retweet. And then on the 22nd, there's probably multiple posts on the 22nd. Here you go, right? So he is constantly active. And whether it's him or it's somebody on his team, probably someone on his team because he's probably got a lot of other things to do at this point. But let's say it's him, right? He's always active. He has 500,000 followers, right? So this is the kind of stuff you need to be doing if you want to succeed. And so I identified all of these different things that they were doing better than me. And I thought, wow, okay, if they're doing these things better than me, what do they have in common? So like I mentioned before, I found commonality. So what do they have in common, and which ones stand out the most, right? And so a good amount of them pushed Facebook groups and had a pretty big sized group. This was something I saw constantly. So for instance, this one was a WordPress influencer, had a lot of content around WordPress, had a WordPress community. I just got into it actually. You can see 10,000 members in this private WordPress community, and this is just a facilitator. He's a facilitator, and he's the middle of all the action. And so people see DarylWilson.com and they think, this guy knows what's up, right? Just because he's a facilitator, just because people trust him, and because he has a name at the top of this group, he gets all this exposure every single day. And this was a commonality I found with people putting people into groups. That was a big thing. Also, every one of them had a leader, which makes sense because it's an influencer, but I think there's only 1 or 2 of the 100 that were faceless brands. They all had some face attached to the brand. It wasn't like McDonald's where they have a freaking clown or something like that. No, it was a literal human being who was the face of the brand. The other thing a lot of them had was a really good free offer, right? This is key. So what a lot of people will do is they notice that, and Russell Brunson talks about this in the book, Traffic Secrets, but what they notice is that there's traffic that you own, and then there's traffic that you earn, which is being on other people's shows, traffic that you control, which is traffic that's on your channels like YouTube or things like that. And then there's traffic that you own. And traffic that you own is people that have converted from those various channels into your funnel. Once they've converted into your funnel, that is when you actually can really get them to convert into paying customers. So all of these people are really just routing them to their free offer, getting them in the funnel, and then converting them forever into paying customers that last for a lifetime. So that was a huge thing. And if you think about it, the more you can do that, the more you can grow your social, because you have more resources to make better content more often in all these different places. So you have to have a really, really good offer. Another thing I noticed was Gumroad. This was a big thing. So Gumroad was the #1 tool I was noticing people using for their content offers. So whether it was a free offer or a paid offer, Gumroad was the most common thing people were using. So if you're interested in launching a course or a free offer, I definitely recommend Gumroad. It's what everyone is using. And then some other last things I'll touch on here are what the top people, how they looked at their content, right? So in addition to everyone basically crushing it on Twitter, right? There was some other things I found very interesting. Like for instance, Graham Stephan, Sam Ovens, Grant Cardone, Gary Vee, etc. Stephen Pope, who is actually a connection of mine, is in the group in Agency Go. They all do something in common. They look at their channels as if they were old school TV, radio, broadcasting channels, right? That's what they focus on. They focus on that. They don't really focus on being new or trendy. I mean, I think that's important. That definitely helps, but that's not their main thing. They see it as a show. And I mean, literally, Graham Stephan has 2 different shows. He has the Graham Stephan Show, and he has the Iced Coffee Hour, and I guess he also has Graham Stephan After Hours. So he has 3 different things that are keeping people in the loop. But again, he sees it as show. He sees it as a broadcasting system. So does Grant Cardone, so does Gary Vee. So the more you can just put yourself back in the shoes of what would an old school radio broadcaster do or an old school television station do, the sooner you'll grow your agency. And so once I found all the commonalities and I found what people are doing better than me and I found which ones stood out, that's when I started to ask myself, what can I do better than them? This is a key thing because it can be so easy to just get discouraged from seeing all this, but I had to understand what could I do better than them. And so what I identified was that the best ones, so I was just focused on being the best or finding the things that the best ones were doing. And so the things that the best ones were doing were consistency. The best ones were the most consistent. They literally never stopped. It was just consistent stream of quality content on every single freaking channel ever, right? That is key. They do this and it works. Free value. The degree to which you can offer value to people, that is the thing that will get them to convert. That is the thing that will get them into the community and then a lifetime subscriber. So you need to give a ton of value for free. Like just give so much value for free and they'll come. Conversion clarity. So this is another big thing. A lot of them would have link trees, which are basically links that have a landing page with all of your different offers in one place, or cards, which is CARRD links. And what this did is it routed people in the right direction. So if you had a user that came through the door, that user would be routed from your video to the right offer in the right way, right? So conversion clarity was super, super important. The best people were super clear about what they wanted you to do and when. again, the reality TV show thing, being a TV show, being a radio broadcaster, being a TV show broadcaster, that is actually the key. So just think of everything as if it's a reality TV show, because it's easier than being like a Netflix necessarily. You want to make it watch like they're on Netflix. So for instance, instead of creating content that's like Game of Thrones, because it takes a lot of time and effort, create content that's more like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but that's very bingeable. You want stuff that's very bingeable and is based on reality, because it's easier to document reality than to come up with new stories, right? This is one thing that I actually felt I could do better than a lot of these people. Maybe not the best ones, because I feel like the best ones like Gary Vee, I think they do this already. But at least in terms of what I think I could do better than 90% of the people out there, is if I create an army of creators, not just me, but multiple faces. Like it's not a direct comparison. I'm not trying to be controversial or anything. But if you think about Jesus, right, and you think about how Jesus had one face, but multiple faces as evangelists, right, who would spread the good word. That's why Christianity is one of the biggest religions in the world, if not the biggest, right? Because of that spread of ideas, right? And so if you think about it as an army of creators, that's something you can do. That, like, think about an old school radio station. Again, they had their main brand, and then they had syndicates all over the place, different faces in different locations, right? You had King 5 News, which is a local TV station, is owned by a bigger TV station broadcasting syndicate, and they have all these different locations with different faces, different weather people, different anchor men and women, and that is what allowed them to spread their reach so far beyond just one individual. So that's how you build like a legacy dynasty, essentially, is having all these people creating content all over the place. Operating the high end of volume. So this is from looking at the posting frequency of everyone. This is what I noticed in terms of volume. They're all doing this per channel. Now, the thing to keep in mind is obviously the only thing, the reason I say operating the high end of volume is it is true that you don't want to just post a lot on every single channel. Some channels don't require you to post a lot all the time, right? That is true. So with that involved, you just want to be the highest end on each individual channel. And that will update as trends change and things change. But you want to be the highest end on each individual channel. Email, I just do once per day. But Twitter, I do 6 to 8 times per day. I am just a constant stream of content on Twitter, right? So you have to find the patterns of what the top people are doing and then be on the high end of the volume spectrum on content for each of those. And then the last thing is make yourself bigger than the story. So this is what Russell Brunson does really well. It's what Gary Vee does really well. It's what Grant Cardone does very well, is that they make themselves bigger than, than just the individual stories. They'll say, look, it's not just a story I'm telling you guys. It's a purpose. It's a mission. It's a revolution. It's all these things. That is how you can be bigger than all the other people, is to do everything I mentioned here, but also pitch it as if you're revolutionizing the industry. That is going to get people just sucked into your movement like a magnet, right? And so that is what I would focus on. So hopefully going through everything here has been super valuable for you, and seeing, I spent so much time building this over the last 24 hours. I was drinking tons of coffee and just getting super amped up, and I put this all together for you. And so the link to this is in the show notes. And if you would like to have access to this, please download it, share it with your friends. I really hope that you enjoy it. Thank you so much, Agency Go fam, for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe if you want to give this to other agency owners you know might need it. And if you do so, it'll help expand the reach of this channel, which helps by getting this out to more people who need it. And as always, if you'd like to join our Agency Go community, go to agencygo.io. And if I can't add $10,000 in monthly recurring revenue to your agency in the first 30 days, I'll give you your money back. No questions asked. Thank you. Peace.